Ready?
Yes.
Okay, so this is my worms nursery. So this is where I take care of the babies. The worms have no teeth, so they spend a lot of their energy chewing on food, digesting it, and then reproduce. That's basically all that they do. So they excrete what they eat, which is what we call the vermicompost. So the ones I have here, the kind is the California red wiggler worms. They eat a lot of food. Yeah, put some kitchen scraps here. Next day you come, it's gone. If you cut on the energy they need to digest the food, they will use that energy to multiply. So what I do is that I make some chow, worm chow for them, which is a powder form. I have crushed eggshells. I have flowers, like the moringa leaves or whatever. I dehydrate them and then I pulverize them. So I can make a powder that's dry and that will not rot. And that will be used to feed the worms. So here, if you look, I have a mixture. And under, you see all of these worms? Those are pretty young. Those are juveniles. Not babies, but kind of teenagers. Not adults neither. So I have quite a lot here. It's concentrated, of course. They try to avoid light, so they're going to hide. So they're difficult to see, but you can see here the concentration of them. So all they need is a moist environment, and then I feed them with my worms chow. So I just give them some feeding, and then I want to keep it moist, but not wet. And I cover it because they don't like the light. And just in case something would crawl in there, make a little barrier. But you see this? This was a piece of cloth, one piece of cloth. They eat through this stuff. So I have them here at different stages. The ones we just saw were teenagers. I think this one, they're a little younger. Oh no, those are big guys. Okay, so you see how these are adults. They don't get much bigger than that, you know, but they want to hide. Oh gosh. Okay, so you see, this is pretty much the maximum length they will have, a couple of inches. So these are pretty much adults. So we're going to let them make babies. I'm going to feed them a bit. You see all that they eat? I got to change that. So my old sheets, anything I have that has holes, I use it there. Not too much water, just enough to moisten it. There's several enemies for the worms. Dry conditions will dry their skin and they will die. If it's too wet, because they breathe through their skin, if they're too wet, they will drown. Ants are bad for them. Hence, I put always a mosquito net. Lizards, they love it too. So I've got to protect them. I'm trying to find a bunch of babies to show you. They're very tiny. And those are big, maybe more in the center. They're getting big fast. Okay, so that's, yeah, no, they're all big. Look at them. I went on vacation, so I didn't see them for a little while. My husband was taking care of them. I guess he did a good job because they're growing. So this is where I multiply them, and once they're good and big, like the ones there, I'll be able to transfer them to the bin over there. But they're so shy. You see? That's a baby. You see this one here?
Oh, yeah.
That's a little baby. So that's the size they are when they're small. They can even be smaller than that. So what do I do with my worms? I sell them. I have a good market for worms, like the farmers are buying them from me. So I sell the worms, and I also make vermicompost. So with some compost, vermicompost, I have a system to oxygenate it for 24 hours with water, and it makes a very, very concentrated tea, which is a good way to fertilize a large area. Vermicompost, as you can see, is very dense, condensed, very rich, but you can just use a little bit around a plant. If you have big surfaces to deal with, then a vermicompost tea is a good thing to do over regular compost. So now you want to see the big production. All right. So you see what I'm saying? If there's a seed, it's going to grow. This looks like a mango or something like that. Look at the root system that comes with. So just to show you the potency of this. So this is an example of what I put as a bedding. It's a mixture of manure. So I use either rabbit or goat or cow manure with water and coconut coir. I mix that together, and that's my bedding. That's where the worms rest. They eat the manure and they bore inside it to protect themselves. When they need to run away, they go deep. So you see under? That's where the worms are. Oops, go back inside there. So you see, I gave them some feeding today. So I just try to cut it in small pieces and I throw it in there. So they're gonna feed themselves. So I have another bathtub here. I don't know if you can see because it's a bit dark, but that's the same principle. Also at the bottom, I put some cardboard. They go and hide in there to have their babies because they make babies here too. So you see them? Yeah. They're hermaphrodites. Maybe that's why they make so much babies. They're both male and female. So the little nodule in the center of their body, like a little lump, they rub that together, and that does it. That's all they need. People don't realize, but without them, it's like the bees. They're at the base of fertility. The bees are pollinating, of course, and when you lose your bees, things like your cucumber, your pumpkin, all of these cannot grow unless you pollinate them by hand, which is a job nobody can do. So when it's ready, when it has been all processed, I see that the worms ate everything and transform it to vermicompost. Then I dry it, sieve it, and I can sell also the vermicompost. So it's a business that I really strongly recommend. For example, children, even children, or women who live, who are staying at home. In the backyard, in the tropics, you don't need much. You can, you transform those wastes. And what I do to feed them, I go to the market every Saturday and I get all the leftovers that the farmers throw away, right? The market sellers, when they clean the cabbage or whatever. So I take that waste, I go with my big bags or my big box, and the guy fills them up. I carry them here, and I have one of those garbage disposals that you put under the sink with an old sink that I have out there, outside. So I just make the vegetables go through that, and it comes out a bit of water. It comes out as a slurry. I keep that. I make bricks with them. I recycle the milk boxes. I just cut the top, fill it up with the slurry, and I freeze that. So every time I need to feed my worms, I just take a brick, take it out in the morning, and by the evening, it's ready to give to the worms. Because frozen vegetables break down, the fibers break down already, so it's easier for the worms to digest. And for me, I'm not ending up with a pile of stinky stuff, So it's a system I came up with, and it works well. Very smart.